almost a little over a year ago in January when Kobe passed, some logo conversations came up. And then, of course, that's come up again in the past week with Kyrie Irving. He's been very vocal about calling for change. And I'm going to read some of the comments that he's made just so people at home can hear them. We've already talked a little bit about them, but he made a post on social media with Kobe as the logo. And he said, "It's got to happen. I don't care what anybody says. Black Kings built the league." And then he also said, "As a native Black man, as a native Black king, I think it's part of my responsibility to continue to push our generation, our culture forward." Now, later on, he did clarify he doesn't want to discredit any other players who have contributed on and off the court to the game. Now, obviously, you've heard all that stuff because, I'm sure a lot of people have been calling you. What were your first thoughts when you heard about some of those comments from Kyrie?
I've been in this business a long time. Very rarely do symbols last 10, 15 years. People, particularly now, they change them. And what's been so startling about this is the fact that wherever I go and speak, which is a lot, and after I speak, 20, 30, 15 people come up and ask me for an autograph, okay? And most of these people are Black, and they're really excited about the logo, and then no one's ever, said anything about it. But my sense is that this goes back to the history of the game, and it's not a player. It's a representation of basketball that, out of surprisingly, has been so successful. Is used around the world. Is accepted by just about everybody. I really haven't had that many criticisms. I've never had a criticism of it, except that people say you should make the shorts longer, and so on. I just think there's no reason to change it unless it's signaling something that the league wants to say, and it's never come up.
Mm-hmm.
And Adam Silver lives in my building here where I live, and I've met him in the gym a few times. I've talked to him. He knows who I am. He's never said anything about it to me, And so my opinion is who it should not be a person. If they did it over, it shouldn't be a person. And my answer to these criticisms and comments right now is, if you're going to say who's the person who really personifies modern era basketball, it's Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when Michael Jordan dies? Do you change the symbol to him? What happens to LeBron James when LeBron James changes? It's a classic symbol that projects around the world the story about the NBA that has really worked, and I don't see any reason to change it. And it's not because I designed it and I get credit for it. I think it's a bad business decision to start changing something that's so successful and so embedded in, and it would be enormously successful. But my question is, what's the story? What's the reason for changing it?
So, seeing as you're involved in branding, you're so immersed in branding, then that's not really my area of expertise. So I've seen a lot of major companies over the years, though, be it McDonald's or John Deere, they might make subtle changes to logos. What is it about something like the NBA logo that would make it timeless, or why then, once again, should we leave it alone?
Personally, I would leave it. I thought about this a long time ago, I guess about a year and a half ago when Kobe died. I looked at it with an open mind. I made some sketches. I thought about it, but I'm going to go back to the basic reason. A lot of these companies do modest changes to make their logo more readable, to take a color that's more right, or they have to use it as a signature with other typefaces, and that happens all the time, and I do that all the time. But I think this is classic. We shouldn't make the shorts longer. I think we had this freaky situation where something was so successful that it's worked. I see no reason to change it unless there's a story. What's the reason for changing it?
Right.
if I saw Kyrie and I talked to him, I'd say, well, what do you want to do with Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan is really the guy in modern basketball who represents the personification of the NBA.